So how do you start the settlement process? You're an injured worker, you don't have an attorney. Forget this workers' comp system. I want to settle my case and I want to do it right now. How do you start that process? If you don't have an attorney, it really is as simple. Pick up the phone, call the adjuster and say, I want to settle. See where it goes from there. So there's nothing special that's required. You're allowed to just call the adjuster and talk to him or her about your case, assuming that you don't have an attorney and they don't have an attorney. If you have an attorney, you can't call the adjuster. The adjuster is not going to take your phone call. You have to call your attorney calls their attorney or the adjuster. It goes that way. If you don't have an attorney, but the insurance company does, you have to call the attorney for the insurance company. You're not allowed to call the adjuster anymore. They have representation. So let's say simple world, you don't have an attorney, insurance company doesn't have an attorney, literally just pick up the phone and call and say, what can we do to settle at this point? So a few provisions or a few little warnings to go in here. First of all, if you haven't seen a QME, if you're just treating with a primary treating physician, probably will not get as much offered to you from the insurance company as if you had gone through the QME process, just because that QME will often lay out potential exposure for the insurance company. The insurance company is going to have a report from an independent doctor that's going to say you have potential surgeries in the future, or further treatment in the future. Also, if you don't have a rateable report, so the treating doctor or the QME hasn't found you permanent and stationary yet, it's going to be tough probably to get a good settlement out of the insurance company just because whole person impairment hasn't been addressed yet, assuming that you have some. Another consideration to keep in mind is that any settlement's going to have to get approved by a judge. So if you and the insurance company come to an agreement, you sprained your back, it's not that bad, you went to physical therapy a few times, you didn't miss any work, you took some Tylenol, but you haven't even taken any pain meds in the last few days, you feel good, there's really nothing wrong, no radiating pain down your legs, and the insurance company says, you know what, we'll give you $5,000, $10,000 to settle. That may not be a bad settlement, even though whole person impairment hasn't been addressed, even though future medical care hasn't been addressed. Just because you know you're doing well and you're really not having any complaints, but what you're going to have to do is get that past a judge as well. So the settlement documents are really going to have to lay out the basis for the settlement and why you're settling without a QME report or without a PNS report from the treating physician, because the judge has to see that the settlement is adequate. It just needs to explain the thinking of the parties. So how do you get more? That'll probably be a topic for a different video, but what I will say is I wouldn't start by making a demand unless you have an idea of what workers' comp cases are worth. I'd let the insurance company make a demand, go from there. Obviously, whatever they offer, you can demand more. That is certainly within your right. You can start settlement talks by talking to the adjuster, and if they only offer $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 and you want more, you're certainly willing or within your rights to tell the adjuster, you know what, for that kind of money, I ain't settling right now. I think I'll go to the QME. I think I'll go back to my primary treater. We'll just let the case keep on going. And that may help motivate the adjuster to offer a little bit more money, either immediately or in the coming weeks. So that's always within your right. But how do you start settlement talks? Truly, just pick up the phone. Call the adjuster and say, what are you willing to offer? Or if you're comfortable, throw out a number, say, I want $20,000. Otherwise, I fear that, my doctor's saying maybe I need to get referred to a specialist, assuming that's true. You can always do that as well. But to start settlement talk, just pick up the phone, call the adjuster, see where it goes. And if it doesn't work out, you've got no obligation to settle. You can just tell the adjuster, forget it, we'll keep on going. If you have questions on this video, drop us a comment down below, see if we can't answer your questions. And if you found the video helpful, hit the like button.